Hello and welcome to this edition of Beyond the Politics, our regular examination of the events happening right here in the Quinte region and the people who work so hard behind the scenes to make it all happen. I'm your host, Paul Martin. Joining me for this special edition, our last one of 2022. Speaking of twos, it's a 2-2 special. 2 Ward 2s, you might say. Ward 2 Thurlow Ward Councillor in Belleville, Paul Carr.
G'day, Paul.
And Ward 2 in Quinte West, which is Sydney Ward, of course. Sydney Ward, newly elected Councillor, Egerton, Boyce.
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
We're going to get into the campaign and your not quite so recent victories, but first on a slightly more serious note. Because this is Edge's first time doing the show here on Beyond the Politics, I think it would be appropriate for me to say a couple of words about his father. The Quinte region suffered a great loss back in October when his father, Jerry Boyce, passed away. Jerry was a former Belleville councillor, avid author, historian, and someone who worked so hard for the preservation and importance of history here in Quinte. We thank you, Edge, and your family for lending us your father and his efforts for as much time as we had with him. We miss him, and thank you for being here, and we wish you well.
Well, thank you very much.
So on a more positive note, a little bit lighter, let's talk about winning, because it's something that two of you, I haven't experienced that myself. You two have. So let's talk about the win. Paul, so it's been about 2 months now. Yeah. How was this campaign compared to past campaigns, and what was it like winning this time?
Well, the campaign strategy was exactly the same. You know, a lot of folks said, you shouldn't have any concerns or what have you, but you still put in the work, you put in the kilometers, you do all the door knocking, touch base with a lot of residents, and at the end of the day, it's about having those conversations, and that's the thing I like about the campaign is you're talking to residents in a more concentrated fashion, obviously, but hearing their issues, hearing their concerns, and then knowing that you can take those and champion them. Okay.
Edge, how was this campaign for you, and what was it like running in Quinte West as opposed to when you used to run in a more urban area in Belleville?
Well, exactly. Very similar to Paul. It was a chance where having moved to Quinte West in the Sydney area, I was experiencing a whole new feeling, like many people that I had to go and meet. So I mean, we knocked on approximately 3,000 doors and spoke to people. They weren't always necessarily at home, but we were there. I knew that it would be tough being a new councillor coming from a new municipality. It hadn't been done before that I'm aware of. So we worked hard at it. We spoke to people. We share many similarities, Belleville and Quinte West. So the people I spoke to said, we knew you from Belleville. We have very similar concerns, and so I felt good. I felt good at the door. So I was confident that I was going to do well, and the night that all the door knocking it succeeded.
The way things are done in Quinte West, but then it's hit the ground running. Got to get spending plans ready for the next year. What are the big challenges that Belleville is going to face, starting with you, Paul, for 2023?
Yeah, so our capital budget's scheduled for I think the 3rd week of February. So it's coming up very quickly, and I sit on our finance committee now. We'll be conducting a review here very shortly with the executive management team. Infrastructure is going to be critical. We've talked a lot about our wastewater treatment plant that's going to require an enormous amount of investment, but there's a lot of preparatory work that has to go into that, so there'll be studies and things of that nature that all have to be budgeted for. And then obviously the province, with regulating an asset management plan, it's critical that our budget process, mirrors what the needs are. And there's talk, and I think we need to go to a 10-year capital plan and at least get it adopted in principle so that it assists staff with kind of lining things up calendar-wise.
Edge, what challenges are you looking at for next year?
You know what? I think every city is probably looking at the whole idea about infrastructure. It's been identified, some bridges, certainly wastewater. We're in fairly good position there, but for expansion of our water services, roads, we have about 300 kilometers of roads that we're constantly looking at throughout the community, and we're tackling our budget January 31st. That's our first day, and so I mean we're getting up to speed on the issues. We're doing a lot of work, and the 10-year plan. That's a great idea in terms of a capital plan, so that we have that long-range thinking.
Healthcare. There's been such a dramatic effect lately. Hospital closures, restrictions, very close to here. We haven't experienced it necessarily per se here yet, but it could be coming. Doctor recruitment, nurse recruitment, specialist recruitment and retention, huge issue. Edge, Quinte West is doing some new things, including that newly renovated space. To do that, do communities have to take it to the next level just to ensure they have what they need?
You know what, I'm very proud about the space that we have to recruit the doctors. And you know, when we're successful, that means the whole community is successful, Belleville. And so I'm happy what Belleville's doing in terms of their active recruitment. And I've kind of lost my train of thought.
But it's a good point. You both were on council when that program began. So
I was.
That was one of the off periods?
Yeah, it was the off periods.
But certainly Belleville and Quinte West are two leading municipalities when it comes to doctor recruitment. How important is that, and does it have to be expanded? Paul?
Oh, it definitely has to be expanded. You know, primary health care is key, because the thing is, if you don't have primary health care, that's the preventative piece that keeps you out of the hospital, perhaps. So if we're not doing the preventative stuff at the front end, then of course we're going to have a crisis in our hospitals. And so the question comes down fundamentally, does the province of Ontario want everybody, every citizen, to have primary health care? If they do, then they need to open up more medical spots, which they control. They have to expand nurse practitioner programs and spaces. You know, we're even restricted as to how many nurse practitioners you can have in a community. So again, going back to similar thing with the housing, the scarcity tactic, right? And suddenly it becomes a hot commodity. Well, the reason why they don't want it is because you and I and everybody carries an OHIP card, and if you go see primary health care and you start swiping, the health care bill goes up. But that's the cost of taking care of your population.
Absolutely. And on a personal note, my doctor retired a year and a half ago. I've got my name in, I have yet to get a family physician. I'm getting to that age where, you know what, it's a good idea to have one. And thankfully I'm healthy, but I mean, there's so many people out there that when I knocked on the doors, they said, you know, we're in the same boat. Our doctor had 4,500 patients, and he retired, and he orphaned us. He wasn't able to find a new doctor. And so I mean, I was on council back in 2006 when Mayor Ellis brought in, and that was new, and that so it was easy for Belleville at the time to attract those doctors with that incentive, but then with success, everybody's looking at it and saying, oh, well, let's do that as well. So now we're looking at a facility, and I mean, we've got a good group of people that are looking for doctors. But it's key, like we're happy, and like I said, when we hear about Belleville getting new doctors, we're extremely happy because we know some of our clients. And same, I know when I was in Belleville and I heard about Quinte West getting doctors too. You know, people in Belleville could use them. So I mean, we're working together, but we're looking at it's a scarce commodity. There are literally doctors that have been trained in other countries that haven't been able to practice here. And I know the process is changing, it's making it easier, but it's not quick enough.
Okay, we're going to take a break first. Yes, no. I know you hate this part. Do we need more cooperation for the municipalities to work together on issues like doctor recruitment? Paul?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, for sure, 100%. And I think we do.
Yeah.
I really think we do. There's so much cooperation that when I got on council in 2003, Belleville was a silo, Quinte West was a silo, and I've watched. I'm very happy to say we're working with our neighbors to the east and to the west because we know we're not an individual little group. We're proud to be Quinte West. Belleville's proud to be Belleville, but at the end of the day, we're the Bay of Quinte region. We work together.
What kind of message do you want to get out to staff in the city of Belleville, Paul, about where you see things going in 2023?
Well, the good thing about municipal staff and staff at any level of government is they get used to election cycles and changes, and they're good at pivoting quickly. You know, they're the constant, and so if they've been around long enough, you know, a little change in the council level, just take it in stride. The biggest thing the message I want to send is results. Is that we need to be producing results at all levels, and we need to be working with excellence at all times. At the end of the day, residents are customers, they pay taxes, they have expectations. We need to be measuring those, we need to be producing results, and we also need to be communicating what we're doing, how we're doing it, and the expectations that follow.
What would be your message to the people working at Quinte West?
Yeah, you know what? When I was a Belleville councillor, I used to think Belleville had the monopoly on great staff. You know, I've been very fortunate to come to Quinte West and see. You know what? It echoes over there as well. Like, the staff are tremendous. Tremendous individuals. We key on customer service. Customer service is so important, and they know it, and they perform.
So have you gotten used to saying Quinte West is the best yet?
You know what? What I say, that's I don't want to steal the mayor's. Quinte West is the best. That's probably the first time I've said that. But what I say is invest in Quinte West.
Oh, there you go. See, okay. Now, priorities for the new year. So we talked about holidays. So what are going to be the things that you're going to think are going to be important for people moving forward, especially early in 2023?
So the Homelessness Summit is going to be front and center. We're going to continue to bang the drum on affordable housing and just housing in general. We're going to, you know, these are all jurisdiction issues that really aren't municipal government, right? No. Potholes and snow plowing is where we should be. Yeah. We're also going to focus on healthcare and doctors and nurse practitioners. These are the things that residents said to everyone who was running in the campaigns. These are important in our community. These are the things you need to work on.
Ed, last word to you, about 20 seconds.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, whether you're in Belleville or Quinte West, we have the same issues. We're a Bay of Quinte region. We have the very similar issues. We're going to be concentrating on our infrastructure, ensuring that you know, we have industrial land that's available. Homelessness, like we're looking forward to that summit and attainable housing.
On behalf of both my guests and to you, thank you for watching Beyond the Politics, and have a happy and safe holiday season.